Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Energy Quotient. My name is Chirag Joshi. Today's date is September 5th, 2019, and as of today, we are in the infancy of the electric vehicle industry. These are the very early days of the sustainable transportation future that we're trying to build, and thankfully, there are a lot of companies, who are trying to work towards it, who are coming up with interesting ideas and a lot of exciting stuff that's happening. But there's one inherent, I wouldn't call issue, but there's one inherent feature when any industry is in its infancy, is that the rate of evolution of that technology is significantly higher. And that's more so today in the electric vehicle industry, where the battery tech is evolving so fast that it's becoming very hard to keep up. So basically, the inherent feature of the technology that is responsible for electric vehicle is evolving so fast that isn't allowing a lot of companies to make sustainable bets on it, because maybe today lithium ion is the most bankable battery technology. What if we come up with something else, say 2 years down the line? So any company that starts selling or manufacturing bikes with lithium ion today has to completely revamp their business model and redo their manufacturing facilities to incorporate some other battery technology that comes in 2 years. So, this is a big issue that's coming up, and a lot of companies are facing that. That's why we see as of today that a lot of bigger companies aren't willing to, go completely all in on it, and are really, waiting back and allowing the industry to mature, allowing the technologies to mature and come to a stage where they can really build products and vehicles that can last a good number of years and earn them profits, right? Which is fair enough. But most companies are, just going at it and are using whatever's currently out there. And to be honest, all of it is, all of the stuff that's being used right now is evolving faster and faster, and technologies 2 years back are becoming redundant. And, the pace of evolution is just too fast at the technology level itself. Battery cell chemistry, we're still trying to figure out what kind of battery cell chemistry should we be using, what kind of battery composition works. Is it lithium ion, lithium polymer, graphene, something else? So there's a lot of stuff going on at the very grassroots level, right? And so that begs a question that what becomes the right way to go about it? What becomes the most practical way to approach to build a business in the sustainable transportation industry and the electric vehicle industry as such? After looking at a lot of people, after talking to a bunch of people, I think we think that this would most certainly be the right way of approaching it. While everyone is trying to capture the entire market, capture the entire country, become a global superpower and set their standards, which is, by the way, not possible according to today's standards. What becomes a more practical way to do so is to build closed mobility ecosystems for a niche. Okay, what that means and how is that profitable and how to implement that, I'll let the expert speak for himself.
So electric mobility ecosystem means an ecosystem in which you have vehicles, charging stations, battery packs, all together under one roof.
Okay.
Okay. Why is it so important? I mean, today, as you see, there is a separate company for charging station. There is a separate company for battery supplier. There is a separate company who makes electric vehicles. But the real issue here is that if tomorrow the technology changes, okay, what happens?
Yeah.
What happens to the charging station if the battery technology changes?
Yeah.
What happens to vehicle if the battery technology changes? Or what happens, let's say the vehicle motor technology upgraded. Again, battery technology has to adapt, which means again the charging station has to adapt. So which means this impact of evolutionary technology is the reason why electric vehicles are not able to kick in the picture. As compared to that, what we conceptualize is something like a closed ecosystem. Okay, a closed electric vehicle ecosystem. Just to example, let's say we have this electric vehicle ecosystem deployed in, let's say, Tumkur. Now, when the electric vehicle, so which means there are electric vehicles, there are charging stations, and there are consumers who are using it. Now, if the technology changes, there is no need for you to modify this ecosystem, because this ecosystem is anyway working.
Okay.
Correct? Ecosystem is anyway working by its own with that generation of technology, and there is no need for us to reinvest, to change the technology, because technology outside has changed.
Okay.
This is very similar to think it in a perspective. Let's say earlier we used to have narrow gauge railway lines. Later on came a meter gauge railway line, and the latest one is the broad gauge. Now, when the broad gauge is being implemented all across the India, does not mean that the narrow gauge and the meter gauge trains are not running. That does not mean that they are not catering and solving the local problems of transportation there.
Yeah.
So there is no need for us to disturb the ecosystem, even if it is a old technology.
Okay.
If it is working in a closed ecosystem, if it is working in an electric scenario, let it be. Okay. So you can deploy these in the form of mobility ecosystems.
Okay.
And you can take care of the issue of evolving technology.
Okay. So what you saw there was Dr. Saurabh Markandeya from Adaran Engineering Technologies telling us about how to deploy closed mobility ecosystems to tackle the problem of evoluting battery technology, and doing so by targeting niches. Any niches. Here he gave the example of a geographical niche of Tumkur. That niche could be demographical or even industrial. Say, there is a company that has created a closed mobility ecosystems for ambulances in Uttar Pradesh. So all of the Uttar Pradesh's hospital ambulances work on their transportation network and in their closed mobility ecosystem. That works. That's their own niche. They can do business that way, right? So what he means to say is you can deploy such niche mobility ecosystems across the country or across the world that can allow people to not be dependent on the evolutionary technology of batteries that exist currently. So, but that again brings us but then again you should have a battery technology that is significantly superior to what currently exists. If you're on lead acid and you're creating an ecosystem, it won't work that way, right? So you really need to have something, and if you're confident enough that this can work for the next 5-6 years, then create your own closed mobility ecosystem, and that should be a profitable and practical way to go about it. So yeah, that was the video. This is something little that I want to share with you guys, because it's important for you guys to know in these early days what exactly is happening, and I hope this gave you a good perspective of what the issue is and what could be a probable solution to that issue. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this, disagree with this, have a different point of view. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe, and if you like this video and you think it could help somebody else, then please share it with them. We need to grow this community as big as possible so that you and me can have a significantly bigger impact on how the future of transportation is and how we and our children commute in the future. So thank you and have a good day.